So wait a minute. You're telling me your wife has she's in the podcast world as well. She's got a podcast. What is it called?
She listens to a podcast called The Skinny Confidential.
Oh, okay. She listens to it. She doesn't host it?
No, she doesn't host it. No.
She listens to it.
No, she's a big fan of The Skinny Confidential, and now she's listening to Puck Sports as well. I'm going to be honest with you, Puck.
You probably force her to listen.
I wasn't a huge fan of podcasts, but now I'm learning and I'm listening, and I'm thinking for 23 years, Puck, I've driven from Puyallup to Seattle, Seattle back to Puyallup, listening to 80s, 90s, classic rock, yacht rock, 80s R&B, country, and 23 years it was fine, but I've wasted a lot of time. I could have learned a lot. Now I'm listening to podcasts. So you're never too old to learn. So there you go.
That's what I'm saying. It's a whole new world. Here's what I love about it is we can go as long as we want. We can say whatever we want. Now I'm not going to do it because you still have a real job at King 5, and we got Fat Zach's Pizza that sponsors this segment. Which is, of course, the Chris Egan show from King 5. Fat Zach's Pizza, you know this. 3 locations. Sumner, downtown Puyallup, South Hill. They are the home of the original, and I have to slow down when I say this, the original No Big Dill Pickle Pizza. Also, you can book their 3 food trucks for catering, birthday parties, graduations, corporate events. Voted Best of the Sound 2 years in a row for Best Pizza. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, and fatzachspizza.com. Have you had the original No Big Dill Pickle Pizza?
I say this to you, Puck, right now. I was skeptical at first when I saw the pickle pizza. I was at a football game. I was down at Sparks Stadium. It was our King 5 big game of the week, and somebody brought over a...
Wait, time out. Did you do a big game of the week in Puyallup again?
I did. It's amazing. Yes, it's amazing.
How many do you think big games have you done in Puyallup, you think?
Well,
just spitballing how many times you've done a big game in Puyallup.
I mean, we've done a few. I enjoy the 2-minute commute home. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie there. But I was skeptical at first. You see a pizza and it has pickles on it. I love it. I would get it again.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great pizza. I think coming up later on today, we can talk pizzas on another show. I went to a place called the Milk Drunk on Beacon Hill last night. One of the best chicken sandwiches, as the kids are calling them now, sandos, not sandwiches, that I've had in a while. The mozzarella sticks were the size of, logs. They were incredible. But we're going to give our top 5 burgers later on.
What's the name of what is it called again?
It's called...
What is it called? The Milk Drunk.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a name for a place. The Milk Drunk. I'm going to check it out there on Beacon Hill.
I'm
a big fan of pickles. I'm such a big fan of pickles. I'll eat them all the time. Okay.
And they got a lot of pickles on their chicken sandwiches. So, but let's break down our top 5 burger joints later. But I've got my golf hat on for you because I know this is a big week for you with the Masters going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's must-see TV. I'm surprised you're even taking time for me today to talk because you're glued to the Masters. And I'm going to be honest with you, I am a golf fan, but I'm like, when it comes to like tennis, I always watch the French Open, Wimbledon, U.S. Open. You watch the majors, the Australian Open. Comes to golf, I'm glued to the majors. I'm not going to lie to you, Puck. I don't tune in every weekend to watch golf, but when the majors are on, I'm watching.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the 4 biggest events. It's just like tennis. I mean, back in the day, that's what I would watch the 4 biggest events in tennis, and I still do. I love it. I mean, because here's what the Masters reminds me a lot of tennis, and the Masters is the only one that does this because it's at the same place every year. That's what I like about the majors in tennis, and that Wimbledon's always there. It's always in London. The French Open always in Paris, Australian Open always in Melbourne, and then of course the U.S. Open always there in New York City. So I mean that's what I love about it because you know what it's like, the terrain, the elements, everything, and that's what I love about the Masters. Been watching it since I was a kid, so I know every hole. I know exactly where they're supposed to leave it, the greens, and where it breaks, and all that kind of stuff. It's fun, and I think the Masters, probably like Wimbledon for a lot of people, just brings people in because of just the history of it. So, because you're not like the biggest golf fan in the world. You don't play golf, do you?
Well, here's my story with golf. And talk about that history. I think what was Bobby Jones founded that course in 1932. Puck, dropping a little wisdom on you. I think it's been rolling since 1934. But
Yeah.
here's my story with golf. Before I was married, I mean, I was playing golf a lot. Then I got married, and I'm in the TV business, and I'm out there doing events with golf, and I enjoyed golf. I still remember going out as an intern with Rod Simons at Channel 11. One of the first events we went to was a golf event, and I met Freddie Couples as a young college kid at PLU. I go down to Klamath Falls, KOTI TV in beautiful Klamath Falls, Oregon, my first job. One of my first sports stories was the opening of the Running Y Resort, and I was able to golf with Arnold Palmer for 18 holes. I remember golfing with Passion of the Christ, Jim Caviezel at Suncadia. I mean, the Detlef Shrimp Golf Tournament was one of my favorites of all time. I'm a local. I love I love Linden Golf Course. Going there with my father-in-law in Puyallup, High Cedars. My brother-in-laws, they were members at Tacoma Country Club. But here's my one problem, Puckett. You get married, you get kids, and I look back at all these great days at Chambers Bay, the home course, going around, having fun golfing. And what happens at the end of every one of these golfing events, Puck? You want to know? And this is why I'm going to say today on the Puck Sports Show why golf should be changed. Because every time, not only am I frustrated because I didn't golf great, I mean, I had fun with my buddies. We had beer and chicken and all that. But every time I get home, wow, that was a long day. Wow, okay. That was a long day. That's from the wife, Puck. If you commit to golf, 18 holes post food, you're looking at a 6-hour day. You get home and there's the wife and she's got the 3 kids and they're like, "Where's dad been all day?" "Oh, he's out golfing." So I'm just saying, as a dad of 3, happily married, Puck, I'm saying it right now. If somebody, I mean, you see pickleball just taking off, booming. Golf, listen to me. Take 18 holes and bring it down to about 12. And I'm back. You can give me a 12-hole course, Puckett, and I'm back in. I just don't have time. Is that wrong?
Why not just play 9 holes? We call that a whiskey 9. Just play. Here's what I would do. Say you're playing 9 hole. Well, actually,
Okay.
say that you're playing 18,
Okay.
but then just really play 9. Then it gives you an extra, hour, 2 hours to hang out, have a few pops. You're the only person that would ever say I had chicken after playing a round of golf. No one has chicken.
Chicken tenders,
What
Puckett.
does? I mean, drinks for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a long day. You are committed when you go chicken tenders. Okay. When you play golf, you're committed. I mean, you're committed for a long, long day. And then if you live like where I live in Seattle, I mean, you're driving an hour, right? It's
Yeah.
an hour to get to a nice course and then an hour back. So then you got to add on 2 more hours of that. You're talking like 9 hours that you're gone. Yeah, you're gone the entire day. That's why we're not allowed to play as much as we want to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
No.
hard.
Well,
I don't know. You just let them go do what they want to do.
and I
I don't.
say
I mean, but I'll play 9 holes. Like I got no issues with playing 9 holes.
my only problem with 9 is it feels like you just don't get enough, and I feel like 3 more would be perfect. So I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. If somebody wants to start up a 12-hole course, I'm all in with you. That's what I'm saying. So I don't think it's going to happen, but I just think 18 holes, beer,
I just
maybe
I
not
just love
chicken.
I love the 12 holes.
Throwing it out there.
Well, I don't mind the chicken. I don't mind the chicken tenders, but when you said chicken, all I thought about was like, what are you doing after the round? Getting like a bucket of KFC and sitting around talking about your round?
But you know what? It's interesting. I look back at my life, and golf is a great sport. I mean, there's so
I mean,
many great memories
that's what
when
I envision. That's what I envision you doing.
I mean, just being out there with my father-in-law. I still remember golfing with my brother. I think the course was Eagle Point in Medford, and somebody hit into us, and my brother just said, "This isn't going to happen." Turned around, teed up, and hit 4 balls right back into them. So I mean, these are you just remember these moments. I remember going to Chambers Bay for my brother-in-law's birthday, and I'm a little cheap. I don't like to pay extra, and they recommended that we get a caddy. And well, my father-in-law gets a caddy, my brother-in-law gets a caddy, my brother-in-law who's got a birthday gets a caddy. And I'm like, I'm not spending $100 on a caddy. I don't need a caddy at Chambers Bay. I know this course. Uh, let's just say this, Puck. I parred the first hole at Chambers Bay with no caddy, and I start talking smack on hole number 1. Like, I don't need a caddy. I mean, look at me. I don't even play golf, and I just parred Chambers Bay. Uh, it went on to be the worst 17 holes of my life, Puckett. I mean, it was so bad. I think I was scoring 8s, 9s, 10s the rest of the way. One of my clubs is somewhere in Chambers Bay still. I was so frustrated, I just threw it. I think it was on one of the sand pit holes. I was just laying in the sand, frustrated, and I just ended up throwing my ball up there because I didn't even want to hit it anymore. So my recommendation is pay a little extra for the caddy when the caddies are there.
I got to ask you, what were you like? Because you are, I mean, people who watch you on TV and they listen to you here on this, and again, you're watching at pucksports.com, YouTube, listening, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you find your podcast. You are the happy-go-lucky. You are sunshine and rainbows. The Mariners could be 3-34, and you'd be like, they're just a winning streak away from turning this thing around. Okay, that's you. That's who you are. You're always positive. Okay, this is the PLU background. This is Frosty Westering, all of it. But I gotta know, when you were a player, like when you're playing high school basketball, but then collegiately when you were playing tennis, were you like that, or did you run a little hot?
I had a little bit of early swag. Let's just say this, Puck. There's a good thing that some would call it an ego. So I just call it swag. I was also a huge fan of Michael Jordan. And I actually wrote a paper in college on Michael Jordan on trash talking. So I didn't mind trash talking at all. So I'd trash talk you on the pickleball court. I would trash talk you on the tennis court. I mean, there's a famous scene, PLU taking on Western Washington. I was the number 1 player for PLU. We're up at Western Washington, Bellingham. Won the first set 6-0. It's 5-1 in the second set. And the guy hits a ball, and it's like an inch out. I say out. And he starts screaming, bad call, bad call. What are you smoking over there? And this is where I love the quick wit because I look at him, I go, dude, looking at the score, I'm smoking you right now. And my coach wasn't a big fan of that. My coach didn't like that. But, I like to get into it. But I'll be honest, Pug, too, co-ed softball brought the worst out of me because when you're surrounded now by your family members and you're playing co-ed softball, there's so much trash talking that goes on in co-ed softball. And I still remember we're playing in the championship game, and my older brother decided to buy everybody these brand new visors. First off, I wasn't a big fan of the visors at that point in my life for the championship game. So hey guys, I got these new visors. So he gets up with the bases loaded the first time and pops up to the pitcher. And I'm like, yeah. And, we're only up like 2-1. Then we get to the third inning. He's up again. I think he's got runners in third and second. And he ends up, in softball, I think he ends up striking out because he had too many foul balls. And so now it's like 4-3. Then he gets his third at bat up and he pops up another one. And it's like, we're now hitting the sixth inning. I said timeout, which you don't even have timeouts in softball. I got everybody in the dugout. I said, everybody give me your visors now. Give me your visors now. I took everybody's visors off their heads, threw them in the garbage. And I said, we don't play with these crap visors on our head anymore. All right? Go out there and play Puyallup co-ed softball again. So I would just get fired up. I kicked a couple coolers in my day. But I'm getting older and wiser now, Puck. So, but yeah, I would get into it. I got a technical once at Puyallup High for talking too much trash at the foul line when the guys were shooting. Me and another guy would talk, we'd talk about what's going on in the dance tonight, whose party's going on. So, yeah, I had fun. Let's just say that. A little fun, a little swag,
What
maybe
what
cocky.
what ab- what about your time coaching? Like youth sports. Have you ever been thrown out of a game? You ever been given a technical? Were you thrown out of an AAU game, or was that Jim? I think that was Jim Moore one time.
I think Jim Moore was. I
Any
have received. Um, I did get. Well, it's interesting. I think I've got a couple technicals through the years, but I'm a pretty good. And here's the thing I'm going to tell everybody out there that's coaching sports: you can get mad, you can get angry, but what's going to happen in the end? What is going to happen in the end? Absolutely nothing. But I'm not going to sit here and lie on the Puck Sports podcast and saying I've never got mad at an official before, because that has happened. But over the years, 23 years of coaching, over 1,000 kids, 1,000 games. In the end, Puck, here's my best advice. The officials, the referees, they should become your friends because they will help you. And in the end, I've learned that stay positive on the sidelines, stay positive with officials, and good things will happen. You're never going to get all the calls. Something's going to happen, but you got to try to remain calm because in the end, you know what? It's not going to help yelling at officials. And in the end, we don't have enough officials out there, so it doesn't help the overall cause. So
100%.
I would say learn from me. If you're a young coach out there, Puck, I know you're coaching baseball. Be nice. But, Puck, I know you're coaching baseball, and I got this tip from Jeff Loomis, who's now the coach of the Portland Pilots, and he was my assistant. I had Mark Reese and Jeff Loomis. Jeff Loomis with the Portland Pilots, Mark Reese, USA Baseball, Puyallup Vikings, over 500 wins. These were my two assistants.
For Little League? These were your two assistants for Little League baseball?
These were my two assistants for Little League. And I'm telling you what, a couple tips for both of these guys.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
All of a sudden, one of our kids is pitching, and the ball hasn't even crossed the plate. And Loomis is sitting on the old bucket next to me. You know how you take the bucket of balls and sit down?
Of course,
Sitting right next to me. The ball isn't even across the plate. Good pitch, strike. I'm like, I turned to him, hadn't even crossed the plate yet. Next pitch. Good pitch, strike. And I'm like, they're not even getting over the plate yet. Jeff goes, yeah, you get in the ump's head early. Get in the ump's head. If he hears that strike, he's going to give you the strike.
Dude, we do the same thing. We do the exact same thing. It's hilarious.
So then I'm in the dugout one time, and we've got. I'm at third base coach, and we've got a runner at second, one out. And I do the old line like, hey, ball's got to get through. Make sure the ball gets through. Don't get doubled up in second on the line drive. So I say it once. And then ball, next pitch. And then Mark Reese turns to me and goes, say it again. I go, I just told him. He goes, he's 10. Tell him again. I go, hey, make sure the ball's through. Don't get doubled up.
You're so right.
It's 2-0. Mark Reese turns to me and goes, tell him again. And I go, hey, no, and his thing was, these kids have so much going on in their head.
Yeah.
You've got to remind them on things like that. But when they step in the batter's box, just leave them alone and don't get in their head because there's too much going on there.
Right.
But I learned a lot through these two. We had a blast. I mean, we went to a tournament in the Tri-Cities. I think we ended up going 2-3. But to this day, it is the tournament everybody still talks about. And I'll also throw this out to all the youth parents out there. We didn't win that tournament. Every kid played. And Saturday night in the Tri-Cities, the parents, we had some fun. we shut down the red line at 4 a.m. I spent some time Sunday morning.
You got after it.
On the shores of the Columbia River.
I love that red lion.
You know what I'm talking about. We partied all night long. The kids were in the pool all night long. The moms were having a blast. We showed up, all three coaches, very hungover on Sunday to the games. And to this day, it's the one tournament everybody still talks about. Remember those good old days in the Tri-Cities? I'm like, yeah, I think we were 2-3, and everybody's like, who cares? We had the best time of our life, and it was fun. So To
It's
all
so
those
funny that
coaches out there that say, "Hey, it's a business trip. Don't get in the pool. Don't get in the pool.
oh
Don't want to get
God,
tired." Come on. Seriously,
Jesus.
are there any scientific facts anywhere that says if your kid gets in a pool, they're going to play bad the next day?
It's so stupid. You know what? That pool thing, my daughter's gymnastics team does this same thing. We can't, and there's no swimming the day before the meet, girls. No. And I'm like, really? Jumping in the pool is going to like prevent them from doing their routines like on the beam? Like it's going to really tire them out?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm with you. Like, where's the evidence of this? We're on a trip. They want to go in the pool. Let's let them go in the pool. Yeah. And then I heard that when we took a trip for baseball. Yeah, if they're in the pool too much, they're going to get tired. I'm like, the point of it is to get in the pool and have fun and stop. No one's winning the World Series here. The best thing about what you said about the calling of the balls and strikes. So last year, one of our my buddies, who's one of our coaches, Brett, he started doing this last year. I felt so bad about it, but it worked so well. We had a younger ump, like one of those junior umps. And so Brett learned that, hey, if it gets close to the plate or when it crosses it, if it's borderline, just say, "Oh, that's a good pitch, good pitch." He kept saying, "Good pitch, good pitch," and the ball literally would be sometimes 3 feet outside, and Brett would be like, good pitch, Jake," and the guy would be like, "Strike." Like it got so bad that I think we stopped. We're like, we got to stop. This is not good. But then this is what we do. And I know every little league coach, including yourself, does the same thing. Every one of us does, or at least a version of this, right? When there's a pitch and it's, the ump calls it a ball, right? And you clearly disagree. You can just hear every coach go, "Oh, it's a good pitch, good pitch, good pitch. That was right there. Throw it again. Throw that pitch again." That's the stand. Throw that one again, Johnny. Throw that one again. Good pitch. Or if your team's up to bat and they call it a strike when it was a ball. "Zach, not your pitch. Not your pitch. We don't want to swing at that. That's okay. Just move on to the next one. Not your pitch." It's just a standard line from any little league coach.
And Puck, see, that's what I've learned. Standard line, and now I'm going to help you out here. Because you want that umpire on your side, right?
That's
so
true.
I'll throw in now, I'll add to that and just say, "Oh man, just barely missed it. Just barely missed it. You're right there. Right there." So you're kind of helping the ump, like, okay, he made the right call, but it was close to being a strike. So
I like to learn their names and be like, "Hey, good. That's a good call, Adam. Yeah, you got it. Good job. Nice job." First name basis. That's always good.
Smart move, Puck. My dad taught me that early on. I still, anytime we would go into McDonald's, Chuck E. Cheese,
always first name.
Hey Pam, how are we doing today? What do we got up there today?
They're wearing a name tag for a reason. You might as well acknowledge. I had a guy in the Best Buy the other day. He helps me out. I go, "All right, thanks, Jonathan." He goes, "How'd you know my name?" I go, "You're wearing a name tag." It's right on your uniform, bud. Yeah, you go first name, and immediately they think, "Okay, wow, we know each other. We're friends. We're buddies." It disarms someone right away.
And we're what is it? The freeze, the Seattle freeze. So help take that freeze off, everybody. Throw a name out there.
Yeah. But here's the deal with the Seattle freeze. See, I think that's a bunch of BS. The Seattle freeze is not from people that live here. It's not from people that were born and bred here. It's from people that moved here and now they call Seattle or wherever home. It's not people who grew up here. No. I just don't buy it. Everybody that I know that has grown up here is not like that. Everyone.
It's funny you say that because I 100% agree with you. The people at my work that would say there's the Seattle freeze, it's people that have just moved here, and half of them don't even say hi to people at work. So I'm like, maybe you're just having a freeze in your whole life, and maybe because I tell you what, you know me, Mr. Positive. I don't see the Seattle freeze anywhere. People are. I was milk drunk last night. Everybody was saying hi on Beacon Hill. We're having fun out there.
Okay, I got it. I got to check this place out. Milk drunk. I saw your pictures of the chicken sandwiches, or the sandos. But those, I was wondering what those were when I saw your picture. Those were mozzarella sticks?
Those were mozzarella sticks, yeah.
Oh, God, I love mozzarella sticks.
Yeah. And of course, I wake up this morning, and I don't know if you get this, but I feel like my wife likes to start today. Maybe it's her listening to the Skinny Confidential. I don't know, with not, I don't want to say it's a negative, but it's pretty much a shot at me. And she's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Instead of, here's how I would have started the day, Puckett. Hey, awesome that you went to dinner last night and took our son out
Yeah.
and got him a nice warm chicken
Yeah.
sandwich for dinner. That's how I would have started the day to my wife. This is how she starts the day. Wow, fried chicken and fried mozzarella. That's a heart attack waiting for you there. And I'm like, thank you, honey. Let's have a great Friday together. Like it's just come on, come start the day a little easier on me.
Oh, oh goodness. Hey, I want to get to the M's in a second, but boy, we talked about it, I think, last week on the show. And again, Chris Egan with us, this segment that we have Chris on every single Friday here on pucksports.com. You can watch it on YouTube. Please leave a comment, rate, like, subscribe below there. Also, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, everywhere where you find your podcast. It's a one-stop shop, though, also there at pucksports.com. It's all brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza, 3 locations: Sumner, downtown Puyallup, South Hill, home of the original No Big Dill Pickle Pizza. 3 food trucks for catering, birthday parties, graduations, corporate events. Voted best of the Sound 2 years in a row for best pizza. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and of course at fatzachspizza.com. The women's championship game, I mean, it just blew the men's out of the water in TV ratings. And the 2 big questions that come out of it, right, Chris, are why this year, number one, and then number 2, will it sustain here for the future of women's basketball? Answer both of those. What do you think?
Well, Puckett, I did a little research, and because a lot of people have been jumping on, and why did it just happen this year, and it's not going to last. And here's some interesting stuff that I did some research on. Last year in the WNBA, they had some of their highest ratings of all time. Their attendance numbers were up across the WNBA. So we're seeing women's basketball already go to last year was on the rise. So that's a good sign for the WNBA. Now you're going to throw in Caitlin Clark into the WNBA. You have a draft party that's sold out. She more than likely on Monday will be the number 1 pick of the WNBA draft. She will head to Indiana. 38 of Indiana's games already being put on national TV. Indiana's game, Puckett, against Las Vegas, the Aces, Kelsey Plum, the former UW star, plays for Las Vegas. They've already moved that game to a bigger venue in Las Vegas. Tickets are selling out everywhere. So I'm going back to last year, and you saw a little spike in the WNBA. Now you're going to see an even bigger spike. And your question is, will this last? And here's my answer. I think it honestly will. And we look at this year, and the storyline obviously was Caitlin Clark, one of the best players of all time. Well, there's some other players coming that are pretty good, and people love storylines. This year, they obviously loved, Caitlin Clark going up against Angel Reese and LSU and Kim Mulkey. They loved Caitlin Clark going up against undefeated South Carolina. Can anybody, beat South Carolina? So that helped raise the ratings. They had some great days. Sunday was a good day to air the game. There wasn't a whole lot going on. Look at that Sunday, Puckett. You basically had baseball and the WNBA championships. There wasn't a major golf event. There's no football that you're dealing with there. So they've timed it out pretty well as far as ratings. Friday night, they did very well. 4 million more viewers watched the women's final than the men's final. Here's another one that I found fascinating. That was the highest rated basketball game over 5 years' time. And we're talking men's, women's, and NBA.
Incredible.
So people love the storyline. So I think that's why they got involved with Caitlin Clark in South Carolina. Now, WNBA in my mind is going to go up because you're adding in Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. She's another, polarizing player. But I think next year you've brought in a lot of fans. They enjoy the game of basketball, and then you have Juju Watkins from USC. You may not know the name now. If you're a women's basketball fan, you'd know the name. But now it's not just women's basketball fan. Are you a fan of basketball? And if you are, you'll love the style of play of Juju Watkins. You have Paige Becker still at UConn. You have South Carolina pretty much bringing back their entire team. And shout out on the Puck Sports podcast to Dawn Staley. Not only an incredible coach, but Puck, did you hear this story? She stayed there after the championship and made sure every local TV station that came to cover South Carolina had a one-on-one interview with her. I mean, God bless her. there's a lot of coaches in NCAA men's basketball that could take a little lesson from
Yeah.
Dawn Staley right there. Treating her local media just like the national media. Love Dawn Staley, what she's doing for USA basketball. So I do think it's going to hold. I really do, because there's enough big names. You've got Haley Van Lith from Kashmir. She's going to transfer somewhere. South Carolina's got a lot of great talent, including a young girl by the name of Chloe Kitts that grew up in the Puyallup area. So there's some big names out there, and I don't think it's going to go down. In fact, I'm looking at the Olympics in Paris, and this women's team, if they're smart, Puck, they're going to get Caitlin Clark on there, and guess what? Now that's going to continue to bring bigger draw throughout the world with USA women's basketball. So
where are the Olympics locally? Where can I watch those?
That's a great question, Puck. The Olympics are coming up now. Next Wednesday, we'll be 100 days away from the Olympics in beautiful Paris, and you can watch all the action on King 5 TV. And I believe only one media member. Now, I can't speak for the Seattle Times quite yet, but I haven't heard they're sending anybody. But at the moment, only one media member from the Pacific Northwest, call me Royal Brome Egan, will be heading off to Paris to cover
Are
the
you?
Olympics.
How is your wife going to sneak onto this trip?
Well, she has a wedding to plan for, so we have our oldest is getting married in August.
So you're not? Are you? You'll be there for it, right?
I'll be there for the wedding,
Yeah.
yes, but you'll
But
love
not the planning. The planning is all on your beautiful wife.
Yeah,
As it should be. Let's be honest. You would provide nothing for the wedding. No planning. Nothing you're going to do is going to work.
As far as she's concerned, Puck, I'll be golfing through July and August. I won't even be home. I'll just be off golfing.
So she's not going to try and slip over there on the King 5 company dime for like a week?
Here's the thing with the Olympics. It's pretty tight security. When the NBC credential, you get to get in a lot of places, and it's really hard for anybody else to get those credentials and come with me.
So you can't sneak her into your athlete's dorm, huh? Is that what you're telling me?
She cannot. But you would have loved this. We're at home, and my dad plans a fishing trip every year. So
yeah,
I fly from Paris, I believe, on August 12th and return home. And the wedding's on August 24th. And my dad is in our kitchen with my wife. And here's my dad. So, Chris, I think I got the fishing trip booked for us. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, Dad, if I'm going to be able to go this year. It's all good. I see when you're coming home on August 12th. We'll fly out August 13th up to Juneau, and we'll take a plane from there, and we should be back in time for the wedding on August 20th. If you could see the look of my wife, Puck, I mean, my 82-year-old dad just thinking this thing's going to
I can only imagine. Are you going to pull it off or no?
No, I will not be. I will not be fishing this year before the wedding. So, but that's going to be an old podcast in itself. Wedding planning. You know, you and I we're going to take down the Skinny Confidential because people are going to come to us for wedding planning 101.
Yeah. God, I love it. All right, Seahawks, Mariners. Okay, I want to get to the Mariners. You dress it up. As we are recording this is on Friday. They'll start a series with the Cubs, 3 games with the Cubs and 3 with the Reds, currently at 5-8. Statistically, offensively, they are the bottom in every category. They have not improved offensively. But here's the thing. You are going to somehow turn this into a positive. How are you going to turn this into a positive where they're at after 13 games?
Well, they're only like 2 games out of first place, Puck. So let's start there. And it
there it is.
And Puck, it can't get any worse. I mean, let's be honest. The Houston Astros, Puck, are in last place. Are they panicking in Houston? No, because they know things take time to marinate. You put things in the oven. It takes a little time to cook, all right? You know, you come into Seattle, you know, and then these guys are, it's as Scott Service says it every day, patience. It's early, Puck. It's very early. And here's what I'm saying. It can't get any worse. So with that in mind, we're going to just keep going up there. And then the return of Matt Brash, Santos, Wu will come back. So I think we're seeing the bullpen really misses Brash. So we need him back ASAP. Then you throw in Santos will return. What does concern me, and it's been concerning a lot of people, is the 27 outs and no more. This goes back to Little League. And besides Polanco's play in Toronto, the over-the-shoulder catch in the ninth inning with the bases loaded that pretty much saved that game and sent it to extra innings where the Mariners finally won and avoided the sweep in Toronto. The defense has not been good, and I don't know why. I don't know why things turned. Obviously, this is the same Mariners coaching staff. They wouldn't have changed anything in spring training. Obviously, you do have a new faces over at third base. You have some new faces in the outfield. So maybe it's taking them a little longer to gel. But some of the throws from third to first, I'm going to tell you what, Puckett, my little league team, I think I would have moved somebody else over to third base if I had too many of those throws. So that's concerning to me. Oh yeah, the hitting hasn't been great, Puck, but like I said, I think it's way too early. I don't know what our friend Ryan Divish is saying. I'll listen to that podcast tonight on the way home. But I just say patience. Patience. Only a couple games out, Puck.
All right.
Don't hit the panic button quite yet, buddy.
Okay, we got the draft is a couple of weeks away with the Seahawks. I talked to Mike Garofolo of the NFL Network and Rob Staten from Seahawks Draft Blog on Thursday's show, which is still available right now, pucksports.com, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon. We talked, great deal about the draft and what they should do and what players should be available, what areas they should go in. Obviously, the hot topic is going to be quarterback. They got Geno, they got Sam Howell, but everyone envisions them and expects them to take a quarterback. And I would think most people in this town, if he's there at 16, want them to take Michael Penix. Do you think, if he is there at 16, do you think they should take him? Would you want them, as a Seahawks fan, to take Penix at 16?
As somebody that has covered the young man for the past 2 years, that has traveled to the Alamo Bowl, to the Sugar Bowl, to the national championship game. He's a winner, Puck. I mean, he's a winner. He when he gets in the huddle, he controls it. He's got an arm. We saw what he could do in the Sugar Bowl. The throws he made all season long. Yeah, you know what? I think why not take a chance on him? Why not pick him? Why not go with the kid that has proven himself? Why not go with the kid that has played under Ryan Grubb? I mean, if you're Ryan Grubb, I mean, this seems like a no-brainer. We listened to the Seahawks players earlier this week. We listened to Tyler Lockett. We listened to Geno Smith saying it's back to school. They've got a lot of work to do. They're all these new schemes, this new playbook. They're not overwhelmed, but they're busy trying to study all this stuff. Why not bring in a guy that knows this system right away? And you're putting no pressure on him with these two other veteran quarterbacks. He can sit back and learn from them a little bit. But in my mind, why wouldn't you take him, Puck? Why wouldn't you take him? That's my thoughts. But as we know, we've been watching John Schneider over the last 15 years. Whatever we think might happen, whatever we think possibly will happen, is not going to happen, and they're going to draft some guy that we have not heard of or that is lower than we think, and it always goes that way. But I like the kid. I think he's great on and off the field, and obviously Seahawks fans don't care about the off the field. They just want to know what he does on the field, and we've seen what he does on the field. He's phenomenal. He's really great. Is. I mean,
he's great.
And I think you throw in the Ryan Grubb thing, and I think that just adds a little bit to it. This is a guy that knows exactly what Grubb wants, and you're going to pick him up, and there's not going to be much of a learning curve. It just boom, takes off right away. So
okay, let's wrap it up here. The Chris Egan Show, which is brought to you every Friday by Fat Zach's Pizza, 3 locations in Sumner, downtown Puyallup, and South Hill, home of the original No Big Dill Pickle Pizza. Also, you can book their 3 food trucks for catering, birthday parties, graduations, corporate events. Voted Best of the Sound 2 years in a row for Best Pizza. Find us at Facebook, Instagram, and, of course, FatZacksPizza.com. So FatZacksPizza.com brings you this weekly segment, which airs on Fridays. And, of course, in honor of Fat Zach's Pizza, we'll end today's show talking about our top 5 burger spots.
well,
5 burger spots. So, Zach, we'll do pizza soon. I want to hear your top 5 burger spots in this great state of Washington. There is a clear-cut number 1, by the way, and I'm curious if it is your number 1.
Okay, well, this is why I love Puck Sports, because we can talk about real life issues like this.
Yeah,
And let's be honest, to Zach and everybody out there, every day is pizza day. Every
that's
day. I
true.
mean, you can have pizza for breakfast, you can have pizza at night, you can have pizza. I mean, pizza is pizza, pizza, pizza. Let's have
I can
pizza all
eat
the
pizza
time.
all the time.
I mean, we can talk about pizza on every show, but people love to talk about food and they love to talk about hamburgers. And here they are.
Okay.
Second podcast with Jason Puckett. These are my top 5 in the great state of Washington when it comes to hamburgers. And I haven't been to all of them, so I know there's going to be people listening like,
You're going to
what
leave
about that
something
place?
off.
What about that place?
Okay.
Number 5 for me. And a lot of these also not only have to do with the food, but also have to do with memories, atmosphere.
Right.
Just, there's a whole lot that goes into this. Number 5 for me, travel over to beautiful Ellensburg, Washington, the home of the Central Washington University Wildcats. Right in the heart of Ellensburg, you'll find a burger place, Campus U Totem Burgers. This is a place when the Seahawks had training camp back in Cheney. The players would stop there on their way over, on their way back for hamburgers. Campus U Totem Burgers coming in at number 5 for me, Puckett.
Okay. Love it. I've not been there, but I've been wanting to go there for a long time because I heard how good it is. All right, that's number 5. What's number 4?
Number 4 for me, and this is a place, all 3 of my children were born at Tacoma General Hospital in beautiful Tacoma, Washington, the 253. When I was an intern at Channel 11, KSTW, with the great Rod Simons, he used to take me to this place sometimes after a 10 o'clock news show. If everything went well, Egan, let's head on out. Let's get ourselves a burger. Frisco Freeze. Frisco Freeze. My wife still gets mad because when I think our second child was born, she was in labor, and her father-in-law and I snuck out for a while and got a couple burgers at Frisco Freeze. And we came back.
She's pushing a kid out.
She's pushing a kid out. I went over and had a burger and fries. I come back, and she's like, do you have fries on your breath? And I'm like, your dad was hungry, so we just went over there. So Frisco Freeze, good little burger. Number 3.
Hey, can I jump in there? Can I jump in there? It's a great burger. The milkshakes at Frisco Freeze are unbelievable. They might be the best one in the state. They're so good. I just wanted to add that in there, in addition to the burger, the shakes.
Well, I think that all, if you got a good shake, you got good fries, that takes your stock up. So Frisco Freeze in my top 5. Right. Number 3. And let me just say this. The group Bon Jovi reportedly left the Tacoma Dome. They were on concert at the Tacoma Dome. And they had a big show at the T-Dome. And Bon Jovi got in a car and headed to the gateway to Milton, the gateway to Edgewood, Washington. What is the gateway to those 2 cities, the great cities? It's called the FME, Fife, Milton, Edgewood. Bon Jovi headed down to beautiful Fife, as the story goes, and they went to one burger place, Pickwick Burger in Fife, Washington. It's a beautiful, big, delicious burger. You talk about shakes. They got one of the best shakes around as well. I know there's different Pickwicks now. There's a Pickwick in Seattle. There's a Pickwick, I believe, another place. But the original Pickwick in Fife, check it in at number 3.
I've never been. I got to check it out.
You've never been to Pickwick in Fife?
No, never been.
Oh, my gosh. Bob.
It's high on your list. I got to go.
Get yourself the blackberry shake.
Okay.
Number 2 for me. And this goes back to our trips to the Tri-Cities with the youth baseball teams, state tournament for tennis for Madison and Austin. And this is a must-stop. It's the Palm Springs of Washington State, the great city of Yakima, Washington. And if you're going to go to Yakima, you better stop at Miner's Burger. Miner's Drive-In is the official name, and you get the big Miner. The thing is absolutely gigantic. Miner's Burger, great memories. I think it's just a gigantic burger, great shakes, great atmosphere. Like I said, I like the atmosphere. I think it's cool to wait in line because everybody's there. So many good memories after big tournaments. So that's why that's high on my list, because every time I think of Miners, I think of good burgers and I think of good memories.
Okay. All right.
You been there?
Yes, I've been to Miners. I love Miners. Miners is great.
Okay. My honorable mention.
Okay.
It's in Allen. I think it's Big Bubba's. Big Bubba's. Big Bubba's in Allen.
Have you been to this one? Or you
Yes,
just?
I have. It's
I don't know. If I get someplace in Allen and they're like, you want to go to Big Bubba's? I don't know. I'm just thinking, Pulp Fiction all of a sudden.
but number one for me, Puck. Number one, and I know a lot of people are going to get on here and say, "What a homer!"
Yeah,
But I think of my 50 years in life.
Yeah.
I think of all the great memories I've had at this burger place.
Yeah.
I think of all the late nights. I think of all the, oh my gosh, we got to go there. I think of winning my first Emmy Award ever with my wife, and she's in a beautiful gown. I'm in a tuxedo. She goes, "Where do you want to celebrate?" I said, "You know where we're going." I think of late night Sonics games and coming home, and where are we going to stop? I think of Sir Mix-a-Lot. My posse's on Broadway. I mean, if you are a true Northwest native that loves gooey ducks, blackberry pie, if you love puck sports, there's only
Razor
one
clams.
burger place. If you like razor clams, if you like king and salmon,
you like Dungeness crab, a cold Rainier.
Why wouldn't you go to Dick's Drive-In
with a big bonfire on the beach? Listen, I mean, it's Dick's isn't for everyone. I get it. There probably is a lot of nostalgia that goes with Dick's, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I love a deluxe, but I just like the straight Dick's cheeseburger.
Yeah,
I love it. And I love a Dick's cheeseburger, a chocolate milkshake, and the fries. I love the fries, and I love the tartar sauce.
2 fries for me.
Oh, you get 2 fries.
2 fries, yeah.
Aggressive. And sneaky good. My kids love the ice cream there. We go get sundaes there. They love it. Do you have a favorite Dick's, though? Because there's one for me that will always be the number one because of the Sonics, and it's the Queen Anne location. Now, the only thing I don't like about the Queen Anne location now is they took out all the seating. That pisses me. I don't like that. I wish they'd bring the seating back, but I get it. They got rid of it during COVID. Now you have bench seating or like tabletop seating around the windows. That's my favorite one. And the second one is probably is it the original? Is the Wallingford the original one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love the Wallingford one because of the drive-in. It reminds me of probably what it was like growing up in the 50s, just how everyone just kind of hangs out there. And that's what I love about Dick's. We go to the one up on Holman Road, but I just love how everyone gets their burgers and everyone just sits in their car.
Yeah.
It's just the best. It's awesome. So I don't argue. I don't think it's the best burger in the state, but it's in the top 5.
And I throw it in when I throw best. For me, it's just atmosphere, it's
everything,
nostalgia, and I think of Wallingford. I think of going up to the UW football games. My brother was a frat boy at SIU, and we'd go up there and see him, and he'd take us over to the Wallingford. Yeah. I remember, and you're right. I go to the Queen Anne Dick's all the time after Sonics games, and so there's just so many memories with that place. So for me, that's my number one. And yes, I love the burger. I love the fries. Are there bigger, better burgers? Yes. Are there better shakes out there? Yes. But for me, that's why it's number one, because of all of them.
Now, the one you didn't mention, there's a lot we didn't mention here.
Yeah.
The Jack's Burger is incredible. You went kind of with more of just like the burger joints, but the Jack's Burger is great. Twin Pines Burger Drive-In in Cleellum is fantastic. But the number one burger place in this state, is in beautiful, lovely, the home of Haley Van Lith in Kashmir, Washington, Rusty's Drive-In. Rusty's is the best burger in this state. There is no debate that Rusty's is number one. It's the best burger, the best fries, the best onion rings, the best shake, the best everything. It's the best. Nothing's better than Rusty's. Next time you go to Chelan or wherever you're going that way east, stop into Rusty's right there in Kashmir, like the first stop in Kashmir.
Why is that burger so good?
I don't know. It's monstrous. It just has that greasy, flat grill taste to it. It's just, I mean, it takes you a little while to get it, but it's so well worth the wait. They've got a burger there. I can't even remember what it's called, but it's like their version of Big Mac. I think it's like 4 patties or something. It's just, my buddy, the Magnolia Belly, ate it one time, and I mean, he was in a full sweat, full like meat burger sweat, dripping down. It's just impressive, man. So good. All right, you're the best. We got to go. Chris Egan every Friday here on pucksports.com, YouTube. Comment, like, subscribe, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, pucksports.com. All brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. Egan, until next week, you have a great weekend, my friend.
Hey, it's early. Go Mariners.
Oh, my God, it's still early. Stop with it, still early. Chris Egan, King 5, every Friday. We'll also have Ryan Divers coming up also on Fridays as well. Until we talk to you the next time, we always promise to be better.
No shirt, no shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!